I've been a resident of Montgomery County probably longer than just about anybody here. So my parents moved in '42 and I showed up shortly thereafterwards. My comments are directed at the butcher of Montgomery County, also known as Pepco Holding. Pepco is a joke. It has no clue as to what needs to be done to be prepared for an outage. It is reactive rather than proactive. It should use State Highway Administration as the model. The state highway positions its trucks on the main road so that with the first flake or ice, it is ready to roll. Since the last storm, we have lost electricity 5 times. You cost me my router and receive a bill for that shortly, along with the bill for the cost of replacing my food, as well as other bills. I expect to be reimbursed by you. For the record, I am the person who dumped 3 containers of spoiled food at 709 9th Street on July 2nd, and I urge others to do the same with the next outage. In the summer of '78, when we again lost power, us old-timers to Pepco had flashlights and candles at the ready. The 15 new homeowners, unprepared, were welcomed to our community by Pepco. No electricity. About 38 years ago, on a Saturday Memorial Day weekend, the electricity went out again, this time at 2:45 p.m., 3 hours, 15 minutes before several hundred guests arrived for my sister's outdoor wedding and 15 minutes before the caterer arrived. We had no option but to hope that Pepco would get the electricity back on because there was no place to move the wedding. On another memorable occasion, after 5 days again without power, I finally reached a senior Pepco person and using a map book showed him exactly where the down wires were located after spending 5 days on the phone with them trying to tell them exactly where it was. The map book allowed me to do it. I have 6 recommendations that should enable Pepco to restore power to the most part within 2 days. Divide each jurisdiction, Montgomery County, PG, DC, into 16 sections. That would be taking 3 lines down and 3 lines across would give you 16 sections. And assign a senior Pepco person to each jurisdiction to serve as a clearinghouse. 2, assign 2 crews and trucks to each section ahead of the time and on a regular basis that these crews know exactly where to go when there is a problem and not have to wait until people start calling in and say here, 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 and everywhere else. 3, each crew will be able within minutes to assess the problems, either fix them or notify that person, the senior person for each jurisdiction, of the nature of the problem, and then be able to go help another section. In other words, you start here, you're the first section up here, you fix what you can't fix it, you notify someone, then you move to the next section and help. Develop an email address for each jurisdiction so that pictures can be sent by us to show the problems and locations, rather than waiting for someone to come out and say, oh, look, that is a tree there. Maybe we should do something about it. You take a picture with a cell phone, you email it to a specific location, and they can then see within minutes or hours of the tree coming down where it is and what has to be done. Develop a local and well-staffed call center so that calls are answered promptly by people who are not in Utah and simply rely on company policy. Develop a system when power has been restored, people can let you know. We were told that our electricity would be back on Monday by 7 a.m. It was 9 p.m. Wednesday. In fact, during that time between 7 a.m. and 9 p.m., if anyone in our community called to say, what's going on? Oh, you already have your electricity back on. I said, then why are we standing here with candles and flashlights? I rely on Lifeline and another medical device, neither of which were operational. I will be installing a generator because Pepco is so unreliable. And I'm telling you, this is going on. My first example was from '78. I'm sure that if I were to go back and look, there'd be other ones where that's occurred. And it's a common occurrence. The lights flicker, they go out, you have to go reset everything. The lights go out, you lose food. There was one incident when what we used to do is, because my aunt lived on the other side of the highway, we'd call and say, Aunt Maxine, do you have electricity? No. That would tell us an idea about what it is. One of my young neighbors' family enjoyed 2.5 gallons of ice cream rather than have it melt, so we all sat on their porch and ate the ice cream. Pepco's ability to trim trees, I don't think that you can find any arborist who is worth his or her grain of salt that can tell you that this is how you trim a tree. Or this is how you trim a tree. Or this, where you cut out the heart. Or this one, where you trim a tree. Basically what they do, they cut out the heart, leave one branch section over here, excuse me, and another one over here. They're lucky that we did not have any ice or snow last year. If they had, and anyone was driving on the road as this car is, they would have been killed. Why? Because the snow and the ice would bring all of these branches down and all the wires down, and you wouldn't be sitting here now. You'd have been sitting here in January and February and March. Again, final comment. I understand that you're going to give them 4 years to develop a plan. That is ludicrous and absolutely irresponsible. They should be given 90 days. If they have not figured out what to do over the last 35, 40 years, and after 90 days, you start hitting them with a fine of not less than $10,000 per day, and you don't put it on the people who have to pay for the electricity.